morning. Come to your comfortable seat. And it's sometimes nice to sit on a block or something to elevate your hips above your knees. And then just let your palms rest in your lap, palms face up or down. Then draw the heads of your arm bones back until you feel and sense the collarbones widen. And then either let your eyes soften steady to a spot in front of you, or go ahead and let your eyes close entirely. And just take a moment here to greet your breath. And as you take a few moments here to connect to your breath, you know, the breath, it truly is that tool to bring us into the present moment. And as you showed up onto your mat this morning, I invite you to welcome it all. So no matter how you're feeling in your body or what might be going on in your mind or your heart, you know, this idea of coming into the present moment is to welcome it all, not to push things away, but to embrace what is. So see if you can breathe a little brighter. And this idea of welcoming everything into the practice, it helps to support you on the path to awaken to the present moment. And as we move through the flow today, I really invite you in that very idea to turn on the light inside, to awaken what is within. So on your next inhale, go ahead and stretch your arms all the way up overhead. And then as you exhale, bring your palms down the midline into your heart. Take a deep inhale, lift your heart into your hands, keep the buoyancy of your heart, and then as you exhale, release your palms to your lap, lift your chin, and then flutter the front of your eyes open, come around onto all fours. Spread your fingers wide like rays of sunshine and center your shoulders above your wrist. Curl your toes under. And on your next inhale, let your belly move down, draw your heart through the window of your arms, look forward and up. And then exhale with your strong, straight arms, begin to round through your spine, tailbone down, chin to chest. So a few more like this. Inhale, begin to extend through your spine, lift the sitting bones, widen them apart. And then exhale, anchor the tailbone down, flex the spine, and round in, chin to chest. Take this 2 more times to start to bring a little bit more movement into your spine. And a little more movement into your breath. And then take your time, but whenever your next inhale arrives, come back into your neutral tabletop position. Keep your toes curled under. Keep your arms strong and straight, and then hover your knees with your belly to your spine. From here, look to your left knee and aim for the left knee to remain stationary. Point your right toes behind you. Take a deep breath in. Then as you exhale, squeeze your right knee to your right upper arm without your left knee moving. Inhale, come back to your hovering tabletop. And then exhale, right knee to right upper arm. 1 more time. Inhale to hover. And then exhale, can you lift your right knee a little higher up the arm? And then inhale, pass through your hovering tabletop, come into this shorter kind of 3-legged downward facing dog, roll your hips open and bend deeply into your right knee. Soften your left heel to the earth and nudge your left hip back. And then can you expand your breath into the shape of your body? Take 2 more very generous breaths here. And keeping your palms weighted equally on your next inhale, square your hips, lift your right leg a little higher, and then exhale, draw your knee to your nose and pause. Look forward on your breath in, step forward, breathe out, rise onto your fingertips, so this is where your 2 blocks may be useful. Inhale, lunge deeper, look forward. Keep your left heel on top of your toes, and then exhale, lift your hips, pull your right hip back, and aim for your right leg to straighten. 2 more like that. Inhale, come into your lunge. Exhale, lift your hips, left hip forward, right hip back. 1 more time. Big breath in, keep your left leg long and strong. And then exhale, extend your right leg. Inhale, come to your lunge, pause. Exhale, step your left foot to meet your right foot and fold. Halfway lift is your inhale. Bow into yourself, exhale. Rise up, deep inhale, your tailbone down as your heart and hands lift. Exhale, hinge at your hips, bow forward, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, inhale. Step to plank pose as you exhale. Pull your hands towards your toes. You can always bring your knees to the earth if you need a little more support here. And breathe as deeply and slowly as you can. And as you hold this strong shape, can you find a little softness, not only in the flow of your breath, but also perhaps on the inside. Keep sending the crown of your head forward. Take 1 more full deep inhale. Then for 5 breaths, lower to the earth for 5. Keep pressing through your inner hands, 4. Anchor your tailbone down, 3. Keep looking forward for 2. See if your chest and thighs can arrive at the same time, and 1. Release the tops of your feet to the floor. Take your fingertips wide off your sticky mat, and then inhale, rise to Cobra pose. Draw your shoulders back, throat back. Exhale, heart forward and down. So we'll flow here. Follow your breath. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. So take that a few more times at your own pace. And as you're moving, keep your legs reaching back, your tailbone down. Curl the heart up. And then is your body moving to the rhythm of your breath? So take your time. But whenever your next exhale arrives, we'll all meet on our belly. And at the bottom of your breath, plant your palms beside your ribcage, curl your toes under, keep your knees down, but roll your shoulders on your back. Take an inhale, press all the way up onto all fours, exhale, and then you'll probably need to walk your knees in to find that tabletop with your toes curled under. Keep the arms strong and straight, belly to spine. Take an inhale, breath, hover the knees, exhale. From here, point your left toes back, and I find it helpful to look to your right knee so that it doesn't move. That's the trick. Take a big breath in, and then exhale, left knee to left upper arm. Inhale to your hovering tabletop. Don't let the right knee move. Exhale, left knee to left upper arm a little higher. 1 more. Inhale, hover. And then exhale to squeeze. Inhale, slowly pass through your hovering tabletop into your 3-legged downward facing dog. Roll your hips open and bend deeply into your left knee. Almost think of this shape like a yawn for your body. You're kind of inflating your body from the inside with some space of the breath. And then allowing the space of the breath to create a little more space in your body. And then hopefully by the end of the practice, perhaps a little more space in between each and every thought. So generous breath. Keep weighting your palms equally. On your next inhale, square your hips, left leg long. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose and pause. Look forward on your breath in, step forward, breathe out. Either rise onto your fingertips or grab your 2 blocks. And then inhale to lunge, look forward. Keep your right heel on top of your toes. Exhale, lift your hips, pull the left hip back. 2 more like that. Inhale, lunge. And then exhale, move the left leg to straight. Keep pressing strongly through the mound of your left big toe. 1 more, breathe in, breathe out. And we'll just keep doing that, breathing in and out. Inhale, come back to your lunge. Exhale, step your right foot to meet your left foot and fold inwards. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold into yourself, breathe out. Rise up, inhale, root your tailbone down as your heart and hands lift. Exhale, hinge at your hips, bow forward, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, inhale. Step to plank pose as you exhale. Just like the last time, pretend like you want to pull your hands towards your toes so that the whole front of your body is starting to light up. And then with your palms pressing down into the floor, your arms strong and straight, but a little softness at your elbows. Take one more full deep inhale. Once again, 5 counts, lower to your belly for 5. Belly to spine, 4. Hug the elbows in for 3. Are you breathing? 2 and 1. Tops of the feet to the floor. Keep your palms beside your rib cage. Just use the strength of your back. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale to lower halfway down. We'll flow here. Inhale to rise, curl the chest up. Exhale, halfway down. So little or no weight in the hands, yeah? Inhale to rise. Halfway down, exhale. Keep the elbows hugging in. Inhale to rise. Pause here, or with your legs long and strong, float your legs up. So pretend as though your fingers were interlocked at your lower back and really hug the shoulder blades together. With the strength of your upper back, you curl your chest up even more. Once again, fluid and free breath. One more full inhale, keep the chest lifting. Exhale the tops of your feet to the floor. Either stay here for your inhale or straighten your arms to up dog. Downward facing dog is your exhale. And then for this first downward facing dog, if you want to pedal through your heels a little bit or wiggle around, feel free to do that. Or if you're called to stillness, then be still. No matter if you're wiggling around through your body, can you let your eyes be steady to one spot? And then in the practice, when we use our drishti, our gaze, to steady our eyes, then this sends a signal to our nervous system to calm down, and it also tends the mind to slow down as well. So get a little bit brighter with your breath, 2 more cycles here. From your downward facing dog, press into your left foot. Inhale, take your right leg high. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right upper arm, like we did on all fours, but a little different, and pause here. Inhale to your 3-legged dog. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose, pause. Look forward, inhale, step forward, exhale, bring your back knee down to the floor, and then inhale to rise, Anjaneyasana. So option 1, you're gonna stay in your low lunge, with your arms reaching all the way up overhead. Option 2, your right hand is going to come to your hip. Option 3, you can bring your hand to the block on any height. Or option 4, fingertips to the floor and then take a side stretch over towards the right. So with your legs, send the hip bones forward. Keep pulling your right hip back and magnetize your inner thighs to the midline. And then with your hand that's coming beside you, make sure that the hand isn't forward, but that it's actually beside your hips. So if you can't reach down, feel free to use your block. And then actively reach out through your left fingertips so you get that big left side body stretch. Take one more full deep breath in. Arc over a little deeper, breathe out. Then on your inhale, come back to your low lunge, back toes curled under. Exhale, lift your back knee, switch your arm bones behind you. Then inhale, rise to crescent pose, come all the way up, full stretch. Exhale, bring your fingertips to the floor or hands to your blocks. Shift your weight onto your right foot and lift your back leg. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bring your left knee to the back of your right for Jiva squats. Inhale, send your left leg high. Exhale, squeeze in. We got 3 more to do. Inhale, straighten your left leg as much as you can. If you want to challenge yourself, bring your hands to heart, and then exhale to squeeze. Take the last 2 at your own pace, going as slow as you can. So that means you're breathing as deeply as possible. When your left leg goes high, pause there. Straighten your left leg as much as you can. If your hands are at heart center, fingertips to the floor. Take a deep inhale, lift your chest. Flex your left foot and then exhale, hover your left foot beside your right. Look forward on your inhale and then scoot your leg forward, exhale, have a seat. Bring your knees parallel to one another and reach your arms forward. From here, bring your right leg to meet your left leg. So if it's too much with your legs straight, you can always bend your knees, lift your chest. You can also hold to the backs of your thighs. Take one more full deep inhale. As you exhale, open it up into an open boat pose. Take an inhale, exhale, back to your Navasana. We'll flow here. Inhale to open. Keep the inner feet and inner knees connected. Exhale to rise. Inhale, open. Exhale, rise up. We got two more. Breathe in and breathe out. Last one. Inhale, exhale. This time when you inhale to open, we'll hold here breathing for 3. Keep your belly to your spine, 2. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, legs go up, head and shoulders go down. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth side out and let it go. All right, so option 1 here, you're gonna keep your hands on the floor. To make this a little bit easier, especially if you have lower back pain, you're gonna lift up your hips and you're gonna bring your hips onto your hands like I'm showing here. Otherwise, your hands will stay down. The goal here is to keep your lower back on the floor, so draw your front ribs in, keep your legs sandwiched together. And then, change my mind, you're gonna grab your block and put your block between your feet. Keep the legs strong and straight, belly to spine. Then lower your legs about 1/3 of the way forward and pause. Keep the low back down, so you do not want to be able to slide your fingertips underneath you. Keep breathing. Squeeze the block with your legs. Then take your legs down so they're just about maybe 2 feet from the floor and hold. Low back stays down. Keep squeezing your block. Then exhale, take your legs to a hover, lift your chin, look towards your toes and maybe reach your arms forward, squeeze the block, hold here. Keep breathing. Then on an exhale, legs go up, head and shoulders go down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, take your legs forward about a 60-degree angle. Front ribs in. So once your lower back starts to lift, then you hold there, and maybe this is where you're gonna stay. Otherwise, take them to hover about 2 feet from the floor. Keep squeezing. If you're shaking, you're in good company. Then hover your feet, holding here. Maybe look to your toes, reach your arms forward. This is the last time we're doing this. Keep squeezing your block. Hold, hold, hold. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, head and shoulders go up, or legs go up, head and shoulders go down. And then release your block. Draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a little squeeze. Big breath in. Exhale, lift your forehead up to your knees. Keep the inner knees and inner feet touching. Reach the legs and arms forward and pause. Inhale here. Exhale to Navasana. Bent knees or straight legs, shoulders back. Smooth, easy breath. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath. Then from here, cross your ankles and step back to plank pose. Pull your hands towards your toes. Take a full deep inhale. Exhale, chaturanga to your belly. Then Cobra or up dog. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale to lift your hips. Pause here, full deep breath in. And long breath out. One more like that. All right, press into your right foot. Inhale, take the left leg high. Exhale, bring your left knee to the outer left upper arm and pause. Lift it a little higher. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose and pause. Look forward on your breath in. Step forward, breathe out. Lower your back knee down. And then inhale, rise and vinyasa. Take a moment of pause there. Draw your left hip back, your right hip forward. Then option 1 is to stay here. Option 2, bring your hand to your hip or to your block. Again, it's right beside your hip. It's not forward. So the goal is not to get the hand down to the floor, but then arc over towards the left so you get this big opening into your whole right side body. Smooth breath in and deep breath out. And so with your legs, as you stand down into your legs, magnetize the inner thighs in towards the midline. Then can you go a little brighter with your breath? One more cycle. On your next inhale, float your left arm up. Exhale, lift your back knee, float your arm bones behind you, look forward. Then inhale, rise to crescent pose, come all the way up, full stretch. Exhale, excuse me, bring your hands to your blocks or fingertips to the floor, shift onto your left foot and float the right leg high. Inhale here. Exhale, bend your right knee to the back of your left. Inhale, fly the right leg to straight, reach it up as much as you can. And then exhale to draw in. Maybe hands come to heart. Take 3 more as you follow the pace of your breath. Going as slow as you can. Ground deeply into the inner left foot and actively squeeze into your left glutes. So working to strengthen the hips here. And hamstrings too. All right, after your 5th one, when your right leg goes high, pause. If your hands are still at heart center, fingertips to the floor. Take an inhale, look forward, flex your right foot, and then exhale, hover your right foot beside your left. Take an inhale, look forward, exhale, have a seat, bring your knees parallel to one another, and reach your arms forward. Good, draw your shoulders back. From here, bring your left foot to meet your right. Take a full deep inhale and stay for the exhale. 2 more like that. Keep squeezing the legs strong towards one another. Take a full inhale. This time as you exhale, open it up into your open boat pose and hold. So belly pulls down towards the earth, fingers reach forward. 2 more breaths. Take a full inhale. As you exhale, legs up, head and shoulders go down. So this time, reach your arms overhead and interlace your fingers behind your head and let your head heavy into your hands. Option 1, you're going to keep your head and shoulders on the floor, but be mindful that your front ribs aren't flaring up. Pull them in, the belly is moving down towards the earth. Option 2, lift your head and shoulders, but hammock the head into your hands. From here, keep both legs straight. Lower your right leg, coming down only so much that your low back stays down. Then the right leg stays there. Just the left leg in the breath move. Tap your left heel to your right toes and then pull your leg up. Bring it as close to your chest as you can. Do that 4 more times. Inhale to lower. And then exhale, pull your left leg as close as you can to your chest. 3 more. Inhale. And then exhale. Last 2, breathe in. Legs stay strong and straight, just like the breath. So that the breath isn't straight, it's nice and fluid. All right, from here, when the left leg comes up, pause. Bring the right leg to meet the left. And then exhale, relax your head and shoulders. Big inhale. Exhale, stay there, or lift the head and shoulders. Lower the left leg to a hover. Then from here, tap the right heel down. And then draw your right leg as close as you can to your chest. Breathe in, heel to your left big toe. And then exhale, drop all the way up. 3 more, take them at your own pace. Try to go slow. And every time your right leg comes up, can you bring it closer into your chest? Last one. Inhale to tap. And then exhale to squeeze, pause. Inhale, take your left leg up. And then exhale, head and shoulders come down. Draw your knees into your chest. Big breath in. Side out, breathe out. All right, big inhale. Exhale, lift your forehead up to your knees. Keep the inner knees and the inner feet connected and reach your arms forward. Take a big inhale. Navasana as you exhale, holding here, breathe. So even though we hold the form of the pose, can you still let the breath flow? One more full inhale. Cross your ankles and step to plank pose as you exhale. Arms are strong and straight. Pull your hands towards your toes. Big inhale. Chaturanga as you exhale. Then cobra or up dog as you lift your chest. Downward facing dog, lift your hips. Take a pause here. Smooth out your breath. And steady your eyes. One more cycle. All right, from here, inhale, rise to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale to fold. Rise up. Inhale, bring your tailbone down as your heart and hands lift. Exhale, back forward, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, inhale, keep your eyes forward. Exhale, step or jump back, lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lift your hips. Right leg high, breathe in. Step forward, breathe out, crescent pose. Deep inhale to rise up. Exhale, chaturanga. Keep looking forward as your right leg goes back, maybe hover your right leg. Then 2 feet down, inhale, lift up. Exhale, press back. Left leg high, inhale. Step forward, exhale, hug the inner thighs to the midline. Inhale, rise to crescent pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Keep your beautiful eyes forward as you lower down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. 2 breaths. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. One more like that. Inhale, rise to your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale to the top of your mat. This time the big toes touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Bend your knees, sweep your fingertips along the floor, Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, fold forward and let it go. So we're gonna add on to that flow. Inhale, halfway lift. Chaturanga is your exhale. Empty, 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 pause. Then big breath, raise the heart up. Full breath, hips back. Right leg high, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Inhale, rise to crescent pose. Listen carefully. Exhale, bring your hands to heart. Take a big breath. Shift onto your right foot. Exhale, draw your left knee to your chest. Take a deep inhale breath. Exhale, kick your left leg forward. Inhale, stand tall. Warrior 3 is your exhale. So you have your 2 blocks at the top of your mat. If you need them for support, go ahead and bring your hands onto your blocks. Otherwise, you can choose to keep your hands at heart center or send your arms alongside your ears for full Virabhadrasana 3. Straighten your left leg as much as you can, but keep a little softness in your right knee. Anchor your tailbone down so you're recruiting all of the strength of your center that we were just sparking the fire for to support you in staying in your center. Take one more full bright breath in. Warrior 1 as you exhale, start to bend into your right and take a big step back, and then inhale, rise Virabhadrasana 1. So ensure that the outer edge of the back foot is to the floor. Encourage the outer left hip forward. Front ribs in, and then stretch your arms up. Option 1 is here, or option 2, interlace your fingers behind your head, elbows go wide, and then begin to curl your heart up to the sky. So just like when you were doing the core on your back a moment ago, let your head hammock into your hands, keeping the back of your neck just as long as the front of your throat. 2 more breaths. If you're in your back bend, on your next inhale, straighten your arms. Exhale, chaturanga, step back, maybe the right leg hovers and lower. Then 2 feet down, inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lift your hips. Left leg high, breathe in. Step forward, breathe out. Crescent pose. Inhale to rise. Hands to heart as you exhale, pause. Take a deep inhale, stand steady on your left foot. Exhale, draw your right knee to your chest. And then inhale, really lengthen through your side waist. Exhale, right leg forward. Full right breath in, warrior 3 as your exhale. So for every degree that your torso comes forward, lift up from your right inner thigh. Once again, you've got your 2 blocks there. So if you are bringing your hands down to the blocks, use them to help you orientate good alignment through the pelvis, to level your hips, pull the left hip back and anchor the tailbone down so that you're using your strong core here. The right leg is as strong and straight as it'll go, a little softness in your left knee. If you're not already there and you want to go deeper, arms alongside your ears, full Virabhadrasana 3. And then full breath. Feel for all the little wiggles and the wobbles. Again, welcome it all. Awaken to the moment, not only what's happening on the outside, but be very curious what's happening on the inside. One more full inhale, then warrior 1. So first start to bend your left leg. Take a big step back to ground the outer edge of your back foot, and then inhale to lift your chest. Aim to square your hips forward and lunge as deeply as you can. So I often kind of hold back in this pose where I'm coming out of it like you can see here, but bend deeply, intend for your left thigh to be parallel to the floor. Then option 1 here, keep the front ribs in. Option 2, interlace your fingers behind your head, then gently press your head into your hands so that you can feel the back of your neck just as long as the front of your throat. And then from there, you start to arc in the thoracic spine as you perhaps lean back and take it into a little or a lot of a back bend. Breathe. Keep working the left hip back, tailbone down, belly to spine. So especially if you're taking the back bend, it's like you're really holding yourself here truly because you've got the back of your head and you're like, it's okay, trust your body, trust yourself to go a little deeper. One more cycle. If you're in the back bend, inhale, move your arms to straight. Exhale, chaturanga, maybe hover your left leg as you lower. Inhale, 2 feet down, lift your heart. Exhale to lift your hips. Pausing here or child's pose. Full, slow breath in. Deep, long breath out. A few more just like that. Steady your body. Smooth your breath. Last cycle here. From your downward facing dog, inhale, rise to your toes, bend your knees. Exhale, bring your big toes to touch at the top of your mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Bend your knees, sweep your fingertips along the floor, so keep your knees that bent. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, revolved chair pose. Bring your left upper arm to the outer thigh and lift your chest. Draw your shoulders down your back. So option 1, you can stay here. Option 2, look to the floor. And then lift your heels and lower your hips. Breathing here. If you're steady, start to look back over your right shoulder. Next option here is side crow, Parsvabhakasana. So you're gonna bring your hands to the floor, and it's helpful to bring your left elbow further towards your right hip. And then from here, once you plant your left hand down, the right elbow does not connect to your body, it is free. So the only connection is to your right thigh and your left upper arm. You gather your elbows in, then lean forward, and then kick your heels up. Smooth breath. Let your breath move into your side and into your back body. If your feet are off the floor, bring them back down as gracefully as you can. Let's all meet back into our revolved chair pose. Thumbs right at heart center. Keep your knees bent. Inhale, chair pose. Reach both arms up. Exhale, fold forward, long legs, long spine. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold back in, exhale. Bend your knees. Inhale, chair pose, reach up. Exhale, twist to the left. Lift your chest and the thumbs right at heart center. And it is more accessible the deeper you bend into your knees, so give it a try. Then look to the floor to help steady your balance. Lift your heels, squeeze the inner knees together to help you find that midline connection, and then pause here. Maybe start to look over your left elbow. Or plant your right hand to the floor, take your left hand wide. So at left elbow, no connection. Then look forward. One of the tricks here is to keep the elbows gathering in, shoulders roll onto your back. And then you just kick your heels up. Keep pressing through the inner hands. Smooth breath in. And slow, long breath out. Breath moving into your side and into your back body. Then if your feet are off the floor, bring them back down. Gracefully make your way back into revolved chair pose. So you gotta come out the same way you went in. One more breath here. Knees stay bent. Inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, fold forward and let it go. Halfway lift, inhale, pause. Heel toe your feet hip distance apart. Padahastasana. Stand on your hands. Get your toes all the way up to the creases of your wrists, and then one more inhale, look forward. Bow into yourself, exhale. Let the weight shift forward into the knuckles of your toes. Heavy your head. And as the crown of your head is descending towards the ground, lift your shoulders up towards the sky. Let your breath move through your whole back body. And as you ground into the mound of your big toes, think to spread your sitting bones wide apart. Pull your belly in to deepen your fold. One more cycle. Then keep standing on your hands. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, release your hands from underneath your feet. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows point to the sky. Then inhale, stretch your chest forward as you rise up. So when you rise up, your elbows are pointing to the wall behind you. Then exhale, press your hands onto your hips to ground down into your legs. Shift onto your right foot. Draw your left knee into your chest. Option one, your left hand will hold the knee. Option two, you can either hold onto your big toe, or I like to hold the outer edge of my foot, stand nice and tall, and then perhaps send your left leg directly forward. Smooth breath. Then from there, inhale, take your right arm up alongside your ear. Steady eyes, smooth breath. See if you can feel where you are in space, that your shoulders are stacked directly above your hips. Then keep your left leg exactly where it is. Belly to spine, inhale, take your left arm up. If your left leg was straight, exhale, kick it forward. Then big breath in as you exhale, warrior three. So once again, if it's too much with your arms forward, you can bring hands to heart where you've got your blocks there. Draw your front ribs into your body. Straighten your left leg, but keep a little softness in your right knee. Take one more big breath in, and then bow forward, standing splits, breathe out. Stretch your left leg as high as you can. So option one, you can stay here. Eventually we'll all meet in Uttanasana, so if you want to head there early, feel free to do so. Option two, wrap your right hand behind your ankle. Stretch your left leg higher, and then take your left hand to the back of your right ankle. Standing splits. For those of you who prefer to balance on your hands, you're going to take your hands to the floor, and like we've been working a lot in this practice this morning, keep your arms strong and straight. Really press through the inner hands. Then from there, you rise onto your right tippy toes, and maybe you start to work the core there. So really think about hollowing out your belly, pulling your belly in, and then maybe you take a few little hops up. So if you're hopping, the left leg will stay strong and straight the whole time. Your right knee can bend to give you a little bit of buoyancy to help you kick up. Smooth breath. And if you're just working the arms strong and straight, maybe considering to rise onto your right tippy toes, this is a great place to start. Wherever you're at, keep your arms strong and straight, your breath fluid and free. And then if you've got 2 feet off the floor, slowly bring your right foot down. Then bring your left foot to meet your right foot and fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Bow into yourself, exhale. Rise up, inhale, with your tailbone down, heart and hands lift. Exhale, bring your hands down the midline and to your hips. Press down onto your hips to ground, stand tall. Shift onto your left foot. Draw your right knee into your chest. Option 1, hold the knee. Option 2, your trusty peace fingers and thumb can grab a hold of your big toe or the outer edge of your foot and then send your leg forward. Smooth breath. Center your shoulders above your hips. Once you're steady, or steady-ish, inhale, left arm alongside your ear. And really do reach up, like imagine someone has your left wrist pulling you upwards. Steady your eyes. Keep your right leg exactly where you have it. Inhale, take your right arm up. If your right knee was bent, exhale, kick it forward. Then big breath. Exhale, slowly start to make your way into Virabhadrasana 3. So your version, maybe you're taking the supported version with your 2 blocks. Maybe hands are at heart center. Or maybe arms alongside your ears. Feel for your breath. Attune to not only what's happening on the outside, but what is happening on the inside. Welcome it all. One more big breath in, and then slowly hinge at your hips back forward into your moment of getting your head below your heart. So perhaps that's a standing forward fold with 2 feet down. Maybe you're starting to wrap your left hand behind your left ankle, and then maybe the right hand holds the ankle, stretch, 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 right leg high. For those of you moving into Adho Mukha Vrikshasana handstand, when you take your hands outer shoulder distance apart, you gotta press down into your hands. Do not let your elbows bend. That's super important. Then pull the belly in. Maybe you rise onto your left tippy toes and you balance there. Smooth breath. Or you start to take a few little hops up. And so if you're hopping, keep your right leg strong and straight, but the left knee can bend to give you that little bit of momentum. And you want to keep your gaze in between your hands. If you feel like you overkick, just look forward and the weight of your head will help bring your feet back down to the floor. You got it. Smooth breath in and full breath up. Keep your arms strong and straight. The goal here is just to get your head below your heart. Three more breaths. If you're upside down and you want more time, feel free to stay. Otherwise, Uttanasana, bring your feet hip distance apart and fold inwards. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold back in, exhale. Rise up, deep inhale, bring your tailbone down, stretch your arms to the sky. Exhale, fold forward and let it go. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga is your exhale. Inhale to Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog is your exhale. Take one full deep inhale here. Let your heels relax to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, ripple forward into a high plank. And then exhale, lower all the way to your belly. And then once you're down, slide your hands forward. Come to sphinx pose with your shoulders above your elbows, and then pull your heart through the window of your arms. From here, Wiggle your inner feet to touch. Diagonal your left forearm so your left fingertips are pointing to the front right corner of your mat, and then bend your right leg and reach back for the shin, the ankle, the foot, whatever you can reach. But when you do that, if you notice your right hip lift, bring the right hip back down. To go a little deeper, you're gonna hold the inner arch of your right foot, swivel your elbow up, fingers forward to leverage the thigh stretch. Keep pressing the floor away from you with your left arm. Tailbone down, belly to spine, breath deep and easy. 2 more cycles here. If you're holding your back foot, slowly release, and then we'll switch sides. Diagonal your right forearm so your right fingertips are pointing to the front left corner of your mat. Pull your left heel to your body, and then reach back to hold whatever you can. And then maybe you breathe here. And just be mindful you're not collapsing down into your right shoulder like I'm showing here, but then you're pressing the floor away from you so you're getting a nice back bend here. Maybe you hold the inner left foot, then swivel your fingers forward, and then bring your heel a little closer to your body. Keep the tailbone down, stretch back through your right toes. 2 more breaths. If you're holding your left foot, very slowly release it. And then from here, return back to your sphinx pose. 1 more full inhale to lift your chest. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Slide your hands beside your rib cage. Keep your knees down, shoulders on your back. Slowly press up onto all fours. And then from here, slide your hands towards your knees. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, take your arms behind you. Palms come to the lower back. Fingers can point up or down. Then draw the elbows back. So instead of the elbows wide, like when we were rising to standing, elbows point back. Then press your hips forward, tailbone down, draw your chin back, and then big breath. Begin to reach your heart up. So the bottom tips of your shoulder blades move forward, and then that spins the heart up. The shoulders move back to help facilitate the extension of your spine as you move into camel pose here. You may keep your hands on your hips. Encourage the tailbone down. Or reach back for your heels, and if they seem far away, you can always curl your toes under to make it more accessible. But keep the hips forward and your heart high. With your mouth closed, breathe deeply through your nose. And remember that version of Warrior One we did today with the hands behind the head. Can you find that same extension of the back of your neck just as long as the front of your throat? If you have the tops of your feet on the floor, press them down, hips forward, heart high. 2 more breaths. Relax the forehead. Keep your belly in. If your hands are on your heels, bring your palms to your lower back, and then inhale, begin to rise on up. And then from here, exhale, come down onto all fours. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Stretch it back. Take 1 more breath. From here, inhale, take your right leg high. Pigeon pose, exhale, bring your right knee over by your right wrist. Gently place the shin. When your left knee comes down, walk your knee back. Then walk your fingertips back. Draw your right hip back. Inhale, lift your heart. And then exhale, begin to bow forward. And then just take a moment here and kind of cuddle your way into your expression of this hip opener. Allow the outer left hip to heavy down towards the earth. And begin to soften the space at the back of your heart. Keep drawing your right hip back, left hip forward. And this pose is absolutely a little more passive than all of our other shapes this morning. So can you really encourage that sense of softening through the upper body? A sense of surrendering to the lower body. And then just take a moment here to anchor your tailbone down. And maybe you stay here. We're to add onto your pose, we're going to add the thigh stretch, similar to what we just did on our forearms. But begin to lift your chest and then walk your hands towards the inside of your right knee. Begin to squeeze your left heel towards your body, and then maybe this is where you stay and you're going to start to feel that deeper opening into the front of your left hip. Keep the right hip moving back. Maybe you reach back and you hold whatever you might be able to find. You can stay there, or from here you're going to hold the inner arch of your foot, and then option one, like you did on your forearms, maybe swivel the elbow up and the fingers forward. You can stay there. We're taking it into mermaid pose. You're gonna slide your foot into the crease of your left elbow. You gotta keep pulling your right hip back, and then inhale, reach your right arm up and interlock your fingers behind your head. So all of those are great options. We wanna be focusing this stretch to the outer right hip, certainly not the knee. So maybe that means you're just staying folded forward. Whichever option you're in, let it be the shape of the pose that facilitates the breath, that allows for a little bit more movement of the breath. Last 2 cycles. So if you're holding your left foot, slowly release. If you're folded forward, inhale, begin to rise up, and then everybody plant your hands shoulder distance apart. Curl your back toes under, firm your back leg, draw your right knee towards your nose. Then inhale, keep your right knee bent, move through your 3-legged down dog. Roll your hips open like we did at the beginning of the practice. Option 1, you stay here. Option 2, draw your shoulders forward and then flip it over into wild thing. Step your right foot as close as you can to your left hand and then spin your heart to the sky. I'll invite you to bring your right hand to the back of your head and gently lean your head into your hand and curl your chest up towards the sky. Then can you breathe a little more generously here? Mouth closed, let the breath soften through the passage of your nose. If you're flipped over, inhale, take your right arm up, and then exhale, flip it over into your 3-legged dog. Pause, regular downward facing dog, and then other side, inhale, take your left leg high. Exhale, draw your left knee towards your left wrist, the shin comes down, the right knee comes down, walk your toes back. Inhale, curl the chest up, and then exhale, begin to bow forward. Allow the outer right hip to heavy down towards the earth. Maybe stack your palms together, or you can even use fists for your blocks. And then take a moment of pause here. Tune in to what's happening on the inside. So I'm sure that you've probably heard that saying before, that yoga, it's not a workout, but it is actually a work in, where we tune out our attention away from what's happening around us, all of those distractions, so we can really turn on the light of awareness within. Yoga, it's an inside job. And so tuning into the inside, is this the best pose for this moment? Maybe you stay here, or on an inhale, perhaps you rise up to add this thigh stretch. Palms come to the inner knee. Start to squeeze your right heel towards your body, and then reach back to whatever you can hold. Maybe you hold the inner foot like you did on your forearms and draw your right heel closer to your body. Or you slide your foot to the crease of your elbow. Keep pulling your left hip back, and then inhale, reach your left arm up and look to interlock your fingers and breathe here. And so you can feel if you're taking the bind and mermaid pose, your head is kind of hammocked into your hands like we've done in a few shapes. So lean your head back into your hands, or into your forearm rather. Big breath. Tailbone down wherever you're at. 3 more breaths. So if you're in the bind, very slowly release. If you're bowing forward, slowly begin to rise on up. Plant your hands shoulder distance apart. Curl your right toes under, tone your right leg. Pull your belly in, and with the strength of your core, draw your left knee towards your nose. Keep your left knee bent. Inhale through your 3-legged dog. You pass through, roll the hips open. Option 1, you stay here. Option 2, shift the shoulders forward. Draw your right shoulder into your upper back, and then step your left foot towards your right hand. Spin your chest to the sky. And then take your left hand to the back of your head, lean back. Eventually your right leg will be straight here, but the left knee is bent. Relax your forehead, smooth breath. 2 more cycles. If you're in wild thing, inhale the left arm up, and then exhale, flip it over into your 3-legged dog. Exhale, regular down dog. Last down dog. Last 2 breaths. Coming back to that place of symmetry, that place of balance, your center point. When your next exhale arrives, bring your knees to the floor. Cross your ankles and have a seat. Extend your legs forward. And then have your heels at the very front edge of your mat, your legs strong and straight. You're gonna sit on your hands, maybe like you did in your core earlier. Draw your elbows in, chin to chest, lift your heart. Fish pose. With your belly to your spine, bring your forearms to the floor and buoy your heart up. Option 1, you stay here. Option 2, lightly bring the crown of your head to the floor. So with your mouth closed, breathe deeply through your nose. One more cycle. On an exhale, bring your chin to your chest, and then lie on your back. Remove your hands from underneath you. And then step your feet to the floor so that you can butterfly your knees wide apart. Roll your shoulders underneath you. And then let your hands rest on your body. So maybe both hands are on your abdominal area, or maybe one hand comes up to your heart. Either let the eyes soften, or go ahead and let the front of your eyes close. And go inwards. And let your shoulders melt a little closer towards the earth, so kind of feel gravity hugging you down towards the ground. Begin to relax the muscles in your face, so softening the little muscles around your eyes. And relaxing your jaw and letting your tongue release to the lower palate. And you're welcome to stay here, or go ahead and stretch your legs long into Shavasana. You can keep your palms on your body, or maybe just let your arms rest alongside your body. And then wherever you are in the cycle of your breath, exhale, pull the belly in and empty out your lungs. Take a deep inhale for 1. Inhale 2. Keep breathing in. Inhale, 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 inhale. 3. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh it out. release, and relax. So for just a few moments, embrace stillness. Stillness on the outside, and stillness on the inside. If you have the time, I encourage you to linger here a little longer. Otherwise, very slowly guide your knees into your chest. And then gently roll to your side and support yourself into a tall seat, just as you started. Feeling for the length of your spine. And perhaps a little more ease in your breath. A little more clarity in the mind. And perhaps a little more peace in your heart. And so this idea of welcoming it all. You know, sometimes in life we have this idea that we need to show up a certain way in order to do whatever it is we need to do. You know, when I hear this in yoga, it's like, oh, I'll start yoga when I'm a little more flexible. You know, oh, I don't want to start painting because I don't know how. Or you might need to feel like you need to lose those last 5 pounds, those last 10 pounds. And it's like, no, life is now. This is the first sutra, Atha Yoga Nushasanam. Now we begin the practice of yoga. So when we can welcome it all, we really presence ourselves to all that we are. And in that way, it's like we show up and we just do our best, whether that's on our mat or in our lives. Gently go ahead and fold your hands at your heart center and bow your head into the light of your heart, into the light of your whole being, to all of it. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, and all of the ways that you're perfect and all the ways that you're not. Welcome it all. And when we can welcome it all, we are further able to tune into the present moment and essentially just live fuller. So take one more full, bright breath in, and then let it all go as you breathe out. Thank you so much for your presence in the practice. From my heart to yours, namaste.